video kind of pains me a little bit because Madden 17 is really one of my favorite games out there. And I think they've kind of come a long way, honestly, since, Madden 16 was a pretty big step up from Madden 15, likewise with 17. But that said, there's some stuff that, quite frankly, should have been fixed already, probably in a patch, but certainly should be fixed by Madden 18. This is my list of really simple fixes that should and honestly need to be in Madden 18. So at number 5, we got smarter cuts. So I started a franchise, and I really noticed this recently when I was rebuilding the 49ers. I went to add the free agents, add some young free agents, and I noticed guys like Curtis Samuel and Laquan Treadwell were available in free agency, just there to pick up. And then you go and look at these teams, and every single team only keeps 5 wide receivers and 5 cornerbacks. Now, in real life, teams keep 6 at the least, maybe 7. And then you go to the Vikings to see who they may have kept over Laquan Treadwell, and they kept 11 offensive linemen. I don't know a single team that kept over 9, at least to start the year. So this is something that really could be an easy fix, probably a tweak of settings, and would be a huge improvement to franchise mode, because you should not be able to just add Laquan Treadwell the second the season starts, or Curtis Samuel. So at number 4, it's an Ultimate Team fix, and I don't know how many of you guys played Ultimate Team, but this is something that really has bugged me over the last couple years, and it's after January, they pretty much release a buttload of 99 overalls, and it makes all the work that you did and potentially all the money you spent on packs and earning packs, it makes it moot. Like, you basically either have to predict that they're going to release these guys, get rid of your players that you worked hard to get and that you probably like, and get rid of them and keep your coins just so you can have the most up-to-date. Now, I'm not going to get terribly into how they could fix this, but I think they could have a little bit better forward vision, maybe release more 99s early, and then definitely cut down on how many you release after January. Getting a 99 overall should feel like the greatest thing you've accomplished in Ultimate Team. You shouldn't be able to just wait and save your money and then just get a whole bunch of 99s. And it's such a big turnoff for me after January. I didn't even play a single Ultimate Team game at that point. And I get that it's a big money grab and this might be the most profitable way they see, but I think maintaining your players past January is going to be more profitable than just releasing a bunch of guys that maybe a few people pay for. And I could be wrong about that, and I'm sure they've looked into it, but I just think there's a better way to do this and have a better product out there that's a little less obvious of a money grab. So number 3 is trade logic in franchise mode. And this is mostly centered around draft picks. If you've ever had like the number 1 or number 2 pick, you can pretty much trade down and load up, get like 5 first-round picks for the next year. If you have the second-round pick, you can always trade it for the 3rd pick, get that pick, a first-rounder next year, and a second-rounder this year. Even if there isn't a top-end quarterback or elite prospect out there, you can just do it no matter who's available. And look at the Bears. They traded a 3rd and a 4th-round pick to do that same trade in real life. So Madden needs to seriously look at the value of draft picks. And then also just a few other trade logic things. Superstars, there's a few players that you straight up should not be able to acquire. And especially with the 3 options that they give you, you can only trade 3 assets. Trading for a guy like Joey Bosa or Khalil Mack should be borderline impossible. And, think about it. If the Raiders were trying to trade Khalil Mack, they would get a multitude of first-round picks and startable players to go with that. So that's something they need to look at, the value of true superstar players. And then just a thought I had, why not make trading a difficulty? Because I do understand the market. There's a lot of people that do like to just make these trades, but then there's the market for guys like me who want it to be totally realistic. And I know this is a big market because of my channel and the interactions I've had with you guys. So why not make trading a difficulty? Have a realism setting where trading is way closer to the way it should be, or just have the setting it is right now where you can pretty much trade across the league for whatever assets you want. And then number 2 is age and player progression. And I could have a whole video, honestly, on player progression in general. And I might do that depending how this video does. But after like 28, 29 years old, players pretty much drop off. They don't just pretty much drop off. They are unusable. For example, a 32-year-old T.Y. Hilton has 79 speed. That is absolutely inexcusable. If T.Y. Hilton is playing and starting and doing well, why should his speed drop off that much? We've seen players like Larry Fitzgerald and Steve Smith playing into their mid-30s and still producing at a high level. Yeah, their speed has dropped off a little. Larry more than Steve, and you know how it goes, but they're at least productive players. Their speed should not just be diminishing to the point where you have to play them at like tight end to make them even usable. So that's something they really need to look at. Maybe if you add, say, player starts as a stat that they weigh into the player progression. If a player is still playing, their athleticism is clearly still there. Otherwise, the team would have replaced them by then. So that's my take on age and player progression. I think they're in the right idea there. Players should definitely get slower as they get older, but it is way over-exaggerated right now, and I think they need to take a second look at that. And, when I play my franchises, I will actually, at least for my team, if I got a player playing at a high level, he turns 29 and his speed goes down by 5, I'll actually go in and increase that because it's just totally ruins the immersion of a franchise. And then my number one thing, this is kind of biased because I'm the roster guy or whatever, but I have a whole list of things that just make for annoying roadblocks with roster editing in general. And I get that they want to restrain you from being able to do certain things. They've had problems with the NCAA, and they probably don't want you creating these draft picks and stuff. But even just in general roster editing, there's so many things that are just annoying that I find my way around, but it's like, I'm battling with their interface constantly. So I just have a short list here of things that they can improve. We got move draft picks. Why can't you trade draft picks that apply into franchise mode? The Vikings trade for Sam Bradford. Why don't the Eagles get that pick? And then edit injuries. If you don't want me to edit injuries, at least let me move players that are injured. Edit all traits. For some reason, they only display about 3/4 of the traits that are in there in franchise mode. You can't edit players' superstar or slow development, their development trait. And then why not be able to edit a player's birthday and their height, weight, skin color? And that might be something where, they don't want you creating these players, turning them into all these rookies. But why do you even let us create players in the beginning? Make up your mind which way you want to go and, either set your foot down and say you're not creating rookies that we don't have the rights to their likeness, or just let you go ahead and do it. It's good for your game. If they're going to try and be sly about it and say, oh, we're not going to let players create rookies. Well, currently I'm finding my way around it. I've created over 200 rookies. So, it would just be nice. And I know a lot of other players that have tried to edit rosters that have complained about this stuff too. And then more stuff. Edit contracts. You can't edit a player's contract. I wrote down create more players, and I kind of covered that already. And then display the faces. What's up with these black faces, but when you go into franchise mode, you can get real faces for any player. And then add countries. There's tons of international players out there now. And right now, if I got a guy coming that was born in Germany, I got to say he's from Germany, Maine, because Maine is the closest state to Europe. And then make school a text, just like everything else, like a player's name. Right now, you have to toggle through, which is a very timely process, and they don't have every school in there. They have like NA as an option for not assigned. Why not just make that something you type in? It takes quicker to type in Texas, if it's listed at Alabama, it takes that's way quicker than scrolling all the way through. And then I just have a short wish list that didn't make the top 5. These are not necessarily simple changes. As you notice, those were all very basic things. But just 2 things on this wish list. Smarter position moving. So for just these specific ones, offensive line, if you move a guy from guard to tackle, their pass blocking and awareness should change because tackle is way harder to play than guard. I was an offensive lineman, I know this. And then linebacker and safety, we see all these hybrid combos now. Sua Cravens was a middle linebacker. You move him to safety, and he's an 83 overall. When you make that move, their zone coverage should go down because they're not hand in hand. 80 zone coverage for a middle linebacker, at least in terms of how they rate their players in Madden, it's not the same as 80 zone coverage for a safety. You know what I'm saying? So if you move a middle linebacker to safety, their zone should go down by, 30%. And then running backs and wide receivers with ball carrier vision. This is with like Ty Montgomery. At wide receiver, he's got good open space vision. Or take actually a better example would be Christian McCaffrey, who I love his vision in space. If he was a wide receiver, I'd give him 94 ball carrier vision, but he's a running back. If I give him 94 ball carrier vision, he's going to be an 85 overall rookie. So, maybe play around with that a little bit. And if a running back moves to a receiver, ball carrier vision maybe goes up and vice versa. And then the last thing on my wish list is I think those traits in Ultimate Team, you see the gunslinger trait for quarterbacks or battle ready for running backs where it's always set to A for tackle battles. Why not make those unlockable traits through experience in franchise mode? Those are really cool traits. I love getting them in Ultimate Team, and it would just be a great addition to franchise mode, in my opinion. You would have something else to work for other than just their development and such. So that's going to conclude my stuff of simple stuff for Madden 17. If you want to keep hearing my opinions on how Madden 18 could be better, dish me a like and subscribe. It lets me know that I'm making videos that you guys want to see. I could definitely make videos on player progression, franchise mode stuff that they could add. I've played so much Madden. I have so many ideas, and I'd love to make videos if that's what you guys want to see. So that's going to conclude this one. I appreciate it, everyone. Peace out.